Hey everybody, it's Cursing Mushroom here and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Foetracer Exotic Helmet for the Hunter that you can buy from Xur this weekend. This is going to be kind of a long video. We'll try not to make it too long, but there are some statistics that we're going to get out there for you guys. But let's get right into it. Okay, so first of all, in PvE, it does take effect. As you can see on the video here, there's going to be some me shooting acolytes and then a knight. And then I will show at which point the damage started to fall off. So how it works is it'll give you a little crosshair once you start shooting your enemy and then, or aiming, excuse me. And the extra damage doesn't accumulate until about 30% that I've noticed of their health, okay? But at 30%, it's only like a 0.5% of damage. So if like, for instance, on the knights, I'm doing 177, it only went to 178. Now, at 10% damage, I noticed it went from 178 to 212, which I have a screenshot here, so that way you can see that. Now, when using this helmet, I would very, very, very highly recommend you use something like a submachine gun or auto rifle or sidearm that's automatic or pulse, because how this is going to work is as their health gets lower, you do increase damage, but if you're using something like a sniper rifle or a scout rifle, you're going to skip seeing that damage. So like when you're at 10%, it doesn't matter if you have the buff or not because you're going to kill the target either way. But if you're using an auto rifle, you'll start seeing that damage a little quicker, like at 20% or 25% because you're doing less damage per round. So you can actually see that additive. Now, in terms of PvE, what you see here now, it does not work. I've played and I tried to use a scout, I tried to use an auto, and I just could not see a damage difference. I believe that the crosshair went away a little quicker on PvP as well. So take that into consideration when buying it. So what we're going to have here is we're going to have me shooting the enemy with my auto rifle, and then I will show you right here that it's not doing any extra damage with a screenshot. Okay, now how I feel about this helmet, I'm going to give you my pros and cons, okay, and like we did on the last video, and then I want to say, would I dismantle it or would I infuse it or would I buy it from Xur right now while it's available? Okay, first off, the pros. Okay, so in PvP, you increased damage, obviously as you get lower in their health, okay? Now, like I said before, make sure you're using something that's automatic so you can see that damage multiply quicker. Not really quicker, but like I said, each bullet does less damage, so that way you start seeing the damage. I'm trying to word this the best way that you can understand it. That way you can actually see the effect happening, so you know what's actually happening. I feel like you'll get more out of the helmet if you're using something that's automatic, that does less damage per round, okay? I feel like the tracks on the enemy are nice, so if you're, fighting a boss or something, you can watch him if he goes behind something or whatever it may be. So that way they don't come around the corner and hit you with a sword like a knight or something like that. The damage fall off, depending on, it starts happening at 30% of the enemy's health, is about 0.5% to about 20-25%. So, take it with a grain of salt. If you're using a scout rifle, you're not really going to see any difference in how quickly you can kill an enemy. If you're using an auto rifle or submachine gun, you're probably going to see a difference because, like I said before, it's very important. Damage per bullet, that's what matters, okay, with this specific helmet. Now, the cons. Okay, it doesn't work in PvP. Okay, that's a first thing. I get it. They don't want you to just be slaying everything. Also, I feel like the crosshairs doesn't last as long in PvP, which is not as good, which kind of sucks, but that is what it is. Also, if you're not going to use an auto and I've said this enough and I can't say it enough, if you're not going to use an auto or a submachine gun or something like that, it's not going to really benefit you. Okay, so make sure your playstyle fits this helmet. I could see it maybe helping on a boss a little bit with a scout or something like that because they've got such a larger health. You get the percentage to 10%. You still may have to shoot them 100 times with a scout. I don't know, depending on the boss. So I could see it being beneficial there. But in terms of your everyday enemy out in the wild, you're not going to see a difference with, a scout or anything like that. So just be mindful of that. It's very important. Okay. And like I said, just think of those things when you decide if you're going to buy it. Now, would I dismantle it or would I infuse it? I would infuse it, and the reason I would infuse it is because I do use auto rifles and submachine guns a lot, so it can be effective for me. I do use scouts a lot as well, but you know, I'm going to use it in application. So if I know I'm about to play this strike with this bad boss, I'm going to use it on that application with like an auto or maybe even possibly a scout because they have a lot greater health. Or if I know I'm going to hit a lot of waves of enemies, I'll use an auto or something like that, or a submachine gun. So that way I can actually take advantage of the buff. But other than that, guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give me a like, that little thumbs up down there. If you want to see more from me, just hit the little subscribe and hit the little bell next to it so that way you know when I post a video. But other than that, guys, Cursing Mushroom out.